Caution! This video contains spoilers. Ever feel like you're forgetting something important? Quantum Leap ratings take a nosedive with near 1 million loss, even though the series has returned with some Agatha Christie-worthy twists. Also, Frasier has added a new name to its roster. We'll tell you how The Last of Us made one of its saddest moments even worse, and more. So let's get to it. Starting with Quantum Leap ratings nosedive with a near million loss. Did we forget about Quantum Leap? The series recently returned after a 2-month hiatus over the holidays and was welcomed back with a nosedive in ratings. While this is absolutely concerning, it's not unusual for the ratings of a TV show to tank when they go on a midwinter break. Why this happens, or why shows continue to take these breaks when the numbers don't quite add up, is a bit of a mystery. But what is most concerning with Quantum Leap is the fact that the big drop in ratings didn't come with its returning episode, but rather the one that followed it. For the last episode of Quantum Leap that aired on November 7th, 2022, 2.65 million viewers tuned in. But by the time the series returned on January 2nd, 2023, over 300,000 viewers weren't aware that the break was over, with about 2.31 million viewers tuning in. But the next episode, suddenly viewers dropped down to 1.704 million, according to the preliminary numbers, with a 0.3 rating. That's a loss of 600,000 from the previous episode, and a whopping 50% of the viewers from the very first episode. Now, it's true that a high amount of people watch throughout the week, and Quantum Leap also airs on Peacock, where it's said to be the best performing show. NBC has already ordered more episodes for season 1, and has even been given the green light for season 2. So Quantum Leap isn't quite canceled, but these numbers aren't a good sign. Next up, Quantum Leap returns with some Agatha Christie-worthy twist. The first time Ben Rogue jumped into the past without knowing of the Quantum Leap project's team, he said that his reason was bigger than the project and more important than honesty with Addison, who is his new fiance. Ever since, Ben and Addison have been working hard to get through their 8 leaps and heal their rift, slowly reconnecting while Ben's memory returns. But episode 9, Fellow Travelers, begins with a return to the drawing board on relationship trust issues. After Ben's big reveal, Addison is now madder than ever, realizing that she is at the center of all the risks Ben has been taking and is still taking. What Ben didn't stop to think about is that Addison would have wanted a choice in how to protect herself, no matter what the threat is, but that threat may be closer than they realize. While chaos reigns in the present, Ben has taken on the body of a bodyguard in 1979 on the trail of a would-be murderer, and as he enters the leap, I'm Every Woman by Whitney Houston is playing, emphasizing the homage to 1992's The Bodyguard. Is it a coincidence that Ben lands with the task of protecting a famous singer called Carly Farmer, as Kevin Costner played a character called Frank Farmer in The Bodyguard? The threat immediately happens as the stage light crashes down during the sound check, but Ben manages to save her at the last possible moment. Meanwhile, the mystery of the would-be murder changes several times and is absolutely worthy of an Agatha Christie novel. Have you figured it out yet? Coming next, Frasier adds new name to its roster. The revival of Frasier was announced in February 2021, though Kelsey Grammer had been working on getting a new version of the show rolling for some time before that, and casting is truly on its way now. Grammer portrayed the role of Dr. Frasier Crane in 3 separate TV shows: Cheers, Wings, and Frasier, bringing him pretty close to the top of the longest-running TV character in history. While Grammer himself will be starring in the upcoming revival of Frasier, he'll also be executive producing on the series. Unfortunately, plot details are being protected quite well, though we do have an official logline to give us an idea of what to expect. Apparently, Frasier is moving to a new city where he'll have to face new challenges, forge new relationships, and an old dream or two that may finally get fulfilled. And now, Jack Cutmore Scott has officially been cast to portray Freddie Crane, Frasier's Frasier's son. Freddy is described as a combination of his father and grandfather, and he rejected to follow in his footsteps years ago. He dropped out of college in order to become a fireman and hasn't looked back until now. Recent troubles have left him with no one to turn to but his father, and if they can overcome their differences, Frasier and Freddy may actually have an opportunity to heal their old wounds. Originally, Freddy was shortly portrayed by Luke Tarsitano, but was portrayed by Trevor Einhorn for most of the show. Freddy was first introduced on Cheers, where he was portrayed by infant twins Kevin and Christopher Graves. It's unknown when Frasier will be released. Hold up, we've got more in store for you. Next, when is the bear coming back? What happened to Lois in the new Superman and Lois trailer? And how did The Last of Us make its saddest moment even worse? Stay tuned to find out. Now, let's continue. First up, when is The Bear coming back to FX networks? The Bear was created by Christopher Storer and tells the story of a classically trained chef who finds himself moving back home to Chicago to run his family's Italian beef sandwich shop following the suicide of his brother. The Bear premiered on Hulu in June 2022, and the series instantly caught fire with viewers and critics alike. The series went on to win the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy Series, and now FX Networks has officially announced that The Bear will continue with Season 2. The announcement was made on Twitter following the series' Television Critics Association press tour panel. While we weren't given an exact premiere date just yet, we do know that Season 2 will have 10 episodes, which is 2 episodes more than Season 1 of The Bear. We also know that the upcoming season will focus on the opening of the new restaurant. Iowa Debary, Jeremy Allen White, and executive producers Christopher Storer and Joanna Kalo confirmed that Season 2 of The Bear won't see White's Carmi and Debary's Sydney become anything more than sort of friends and co-workers, which is actually excellent news. The Bear has many interesting themes to discover, and it would be disappointing if the show would already go down that road. Maybe somewhere down the future? Next up, the new Superman and Lois trailer shows Lois is missing. 2023 is well on its way, which means that the Arrowverse is almost back on the CW. Sadly, there will be fewer shows this year, but there are still plenty of DC adventures to anticipate. And one of these is Superman and Lois, which is already in its 3rd season. It was revealed in the Season 2 finale that Superman and Lois is actually set on an alternative Arrowverse Earth in the Greg Berlanti produced multiverse. And it's been confirmed by the CW that Season 3 will pick up a few weeks after Season 2 finale, which is where Clark took on Ali Alston, also known as Parasite. The new trailer reveals several things. First off, one of the big centerpieces of the Season 3 trailer is the reveal that Lois is possibly pregnant again. But if you want to know whether she is or not, are Lois and Clark really having another kid? Obviously, it doesn't take long for Lois to be in grave danger because she goes missing, and now Superman has to find her. The trailer also reveals that Season 3 will take the series back to Metropolis, at least for a little bit. At several points in the trailer, Superman can be seen flying through the epic DC location, including a quick shot of the Daily Planet. Most of the show, however, will take place in Smallville as usual, but whatever is bothering Superman is also putting Lois in danger, and the Daily Planet is starting to shatter behind Lois toward the end of the trailer. Superman and Lois will be back on the CW on the 14th of March, 2023. What do you think will happen to Lois? And now, how The Last of Us made its saddest moment even worse. HBO Max released a new behind-the-scenes featurette for The Last of Us, which reveals how the series was able to make the saddest moment of the game even worse. The Last of Us didn't hold back during its premiere, as the first episode of the series showed us one of the most heartbreaking moments of the 2013 hit game. Viewers had to witness Pedro Pascal's Joel desperately try to save his daughter, Nico Parker's Sarah, who was fatally shot. The death of Sarah is a huge shock in the game, and it's the moment that shapes Joel. The series did an amazing job adapting this this haunting scene, and there's one particular reason why Sarah's death hurts even more in the show than it did in the game. The creators wanted us to feel like The Last of Us isn't the series we're expecting by having the show premiere from Sarah's point of view very heavily in the beginning. As series co-creator Craig Mazin explains it, they wanted us to feel like we would get to go on an adventure with Sarah throughout the rest of the series, only to have her story be brutally cut short. Just like the creators of the show promised, The Last of Us has added to the story beautifully, giving Sarah moments in school, baking with the neighbors, and getting Joel's watch fixed. We get to see how kind-hearted and humorous she is, and can really see what kind of person she would have become. This way, Sarah's death is made even worse than it already was in the game. It hurts, but in a good way, because The Last of Us is definitely delivering. Don't you agree? And that's all we've got for now. Are you still tuning in to Quantum Leap, or did you forget the show existed as well? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more. Thanks for watching.